Keith Andrew, very nice to meet you.
Nistyle. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew from KeithAndrewNetwork. He is doing an exceptional job, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Keith Andrew, and welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. It is Season 12, Episode 29. As you heard from the recommendation, our guest already introduced herself. First subject I want to talk to you about is icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karina Nistal. And first of all, thank you, Keith Andrew Network, for having me on. I am a singer, songwriter, performer from the Houston, Texas area. I have 25 years of entertainment experience, and I have my own band, Karina Nistal and the Cosmic Cats. We perform often locally. I also do some acting, voiceovers, and of course, music recording.
No, that's absolutely amazing. Who
Thank
influenced you to start your own band? Actually, let me say one thing. The next subject we're going to talk about is music. So, song of the day. What song did you listen to on this day? And who influenced you to start your own band?
Oh, what song did I listen to um earlier today?
It
Uh
could be today to yesterday. Doesn't make a difference.
okay. Um let's see. A lot of the stuff I listen to is because I'm practicing. So, I was listening to Mazzy Star Fade Into You, and I was listening to some dance music at the gym to help me get through my gym workout. And who influenced me to start my band? I would say it's one of my mentors, Joe B, who was also my producer to the first album I wrote named Nistyle.
No, very inspirational. Well, let me throw this out at you. Say hypothetically, I have a tiny speech, but I don't say it during my interviews because I don't want to take time away. But it's in the introduction. Would you hypothetically be interested in turning it into a song?
Yeah, let's definitely talk about that off the air. I wouldn't mind. I do jingles all the time.
No, absolutely. Well, I can tell you real fast. So for you, I'm making it, unless I had a dollar for every time I said this. For you, I'm making an exception. As you people heard from the introduction, but I will say it now. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example to show you that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove them is to amount to something. So hashtag breaks the labels. There's this application where you can write something and it turns it into a song. And then I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe there's some bands out there or indie people that might be interested in singing my song, my message, and I could make money. But at least I get myself out there. It's by you singing my song, you're supporting people with disabilities, but at the same time, I'm getting my name out there. So, but we can always talk about that later on. That was just an idea I was playing with.
I love it. I really respect people that have the disabled label. I have many friends that, are under that label, and they are truly some of the smartest people I know. Um, truly. And I enjoy talking to them because I always get a different perspective. They're smarter than normal people, let's just say that.
That's true. You would say I'm smarter than Slow Joe, and I'm probably a better pick than the Orange Dorito, Orange Cheeto.
There you go.
But unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden anyway, because it's better to go with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Okay, that's not really true because we had Trump as president,
Right.
so that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if it's like Kennedy, okay, that makes sense. Why would you vote for Kennedy when he's just us batshit crazy? But I don't know, not to talk about
I'm with
politics, okay?
you.
Not to
I'm with you. I didn't expect the conversation to go there, Keith Andrew, but I'm with you. I mean, I'm not the happiest with our options, but I would definitely have to go with Biden first. And I hope no one crucifies me out there, but if you deal with racism and, you know, discrimination the way that some of us have during the Trump era term, then that was not fun.
No, you're right. And here on the KeithAndrewNetwork, it's freedom of speech, self-expression. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want. And as long as you're expressing yourself, that's all it really matters. It's not hurting anyone. And
Someone
you're
wants to say hi.
what's his
Sunshine.
what's his or her name?
Her name is Sunshine. She wants to say hi. Say hi. You'll see her little tail and everything.
Oh, I have a history of having dogs and cats in my videos. Luckily,
Oh,
I have
really?
a background, so that kind of blocks them out.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. No, she has to, every time I'm on Zoom, she has to get on here and talk. And as soon as your voice started, she came over here. Like she's not leaving. I think she likes your voice.
No, I appreciate that. My parents' dog hates my voice.
Oh, shame on that dog.
Every time I talk to my mom, she said, her name's Aria. Aria starts growling. I'm like, well, my dad's like, you're bothering her. I'm not even doing anything. I'm talking to mom. Oh, she doesn't like the sound of your voice.
Oh, maybe she just doesn't like to share your mom.
Well, she is my mom's protector. She
Yeah.
goes, watches her, like I can't snap my fingers. She is a Velcro dog.
Oh.
So if anyone has one of those, the signs of it. Overprotective, he
Yes.
sneezed the wrong way, you gotta get in.
Oh, yeah.
But the next question I want to ask you is when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal, and what did you major in?
Oh, okay. So in college, I was a party animal. And I was majoring for speech and language pathology, but I did not finish because we had a family tragedy. My daddy, who owned a jewelry store, they were trying to rob him and they shot him several times. And so I had to take over the family business for a while.
I'm sorry to hear that. And if there's any way I can help you promote the family business, I would love to. Maybe we can cross promote.
Oh, thank you. It's been closed for some time now. My daddy was retired in 2015. He passed in 2020. And so, but for anyone who knew, it was Midas Touch Jewelry, and it was, an incredible place where I worked from the time I was 11 until about 20 or so. And then I went off and did my own thing. But yeah, so that's my story as far as college.
If you don't mind me for asking, if you don't mind me for asking, how come you didn't leave it in the family?
Um, there was a lot involved as far as his spouse, and I was away. I was actually living in LA at the time pursuing entertainment. And so I personally have always wanted to pursue entertainment. And as much as I love jewelry, selling jewelry was not part of my plan. But I'm grateful because it helped us as a family. Obviously, my daddy supported us with that business for my entire life. So I'm grateful for that, but none of the kids wanted to take over the business.
We kind of have that in common. My grandfather had his own store. He had two stores. But this is going back. But like I said, freedom of speech. It was in a bad neighborhood, and he's gangbangers would come in and walk around and say, "Oh, why is there no brothers here?" And so my grandfather had I can't speak. My grandfather had a best friend. I think it's like Sam or Samuel. It was something or Smitty. Yeah, Smitty. My grandfather had a best friend named Smitty. So when he said, having problems with the stores, these people are coming in, they give us a hard time. And not to be racist, it's not the end of that. So my grandfather's friend Smitty used to come in, be security. So, they happened to come in the store, walk around, see him. I'm like, okay, you're cool, brother. But before Smitty got there, man, it was like the 60s, the 70s, so it's all that backwards ass crap. But the city's accessible, so I can only imagine what your father had to go through.
Oh yeah. So tell me where you're located, Keith Andrew.
Oh, upstate New York.
Oh, okay. So it gets really cold over there, huh?
It has its moments. What
How
about you?
I'm in Houston and it is, hot and humid a lot of the year. And right now it's pouring down rain. Like I'm hoping that we don't lose our connection, but it can be so many different things with climate change, right? Like there's so many the places that you thought were a certain way aren't that way anymore. They've gotten way hotter or way more humid or way more rain, tropical storms, whatever. But in upstate New York, um, how's the weather now?
That's pretty nice. Let me look at my watch. It's 67 degrees.
Oh, that's
Um, it's supposed to be warmer, but nothing you can do about climate change.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
Now, the last two things I do want to tell you real fast, then we can take a quick commercial break. There's a place in Italy where there's no roads. It's a beautiful city, but you have to take a boat to everywhere you go. But I can't think of the name, but it's really beautiful. Unfortunately, with the ocean rising, that city will eventually be underwater. For an example, Louisiana is sinking. In a couple of years, Long Island won't be around.
Mm,
Manhattan's going to be underwater. So,
wow.
New York always moved. You can move the city,
Hmm.
but we need to start thinking of, getting our crap together pretty much.
I agree. Are you talking about Venice?
I think so, yes.
I've been there. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And um, I heard on the news about a month ago that they're going to start charging a entry fee into Venice. I think it's like less than $10.
Well, it's not
Um,
so bad.
yeah, that's not bad. And it's well worth it. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Might as well go see it now before it sinks, right?
yes, everything is on water, even the ambulances, of course.
Makes it interesting.
Yes.
Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to ask you a couple more questions and pass it over to you. On Just That Dial, my name is Keith Andrew, the creator of the Keith Andrew Network. We are available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. It doesn't matter if you're watching us on a computer screen, on a phone, on a laptop, on an iPad, hell, even a television. If you have internet available and able to watch YouTube anytime, any place, anywhere. The KeithAndrewNetwork is 24/7. That's right. TVs, iPads, phones, anything connected to YouTube. If you're able to get YouTube, you're more than welcome to like and subscribe and able to watch the KeithAndrewNetwork. Also, the KeithAndrewNetwork is also available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. So hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork and subscribe today. We're back from the quick commercial break. Soon, available on the KeithAndrewNetwork will be called Monsters Underneath the Bed. That is a show in the works. Anyone who wants to have their own program on the KeithAndrewNetwork, it's $20 a month, and I would love to help you with that. We can talk about that off the air if you're interested. One of the questions I did want to talk to you about off the air. But the next subject I want to talk to you about, it's today is Monday. You know what that means? Monday Night Hockey. The New York Rangers gets to play tonight. Go to NHL.com, and if you have the Optimum app, check out your local cable listings and how you can watch the New York Rangers. Also today on the USA Network, it's a Monday Night Raw, available on the USA Apple TV, available on the USA app. It's available on Peacock, YouTube. If you're a fan of Monday Night Raw, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, how has COVID impacted your life? Do you see things in a different point of view?
Oh, absolutely. So I have a really hard time being in big crowds. And it's not because I'm afraid to get COVID, but it's because I just have like anxiety around big crowds. And that's very different. It's hard. So that's one part of it, but the other part is if I'm on stage, it's okay because I'm on a different platform. But if I'm in the crowd, it makes me really nervous. Whereas before, if I was in the crowd and a fight broke out or something was going on, I wouldn't feel as affected. And it's been way harder for us creatives, um, in part for AI, and the other part because we haven't fully gotten back to where we were economically before COVID. So the gigs are not as plentiful as they used to be. And it's just harder to be an independent artist. So there's also a lot of tools that have submerged or emerged, I should say, during COVID, a lot of stuff online that has helped artists. But the old way is no longer.
No, I agree. Now, here's a fun question that I always throw in just for the hell of it. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, and would you ever be interested in doing one?
That's what you meant. I was wondering when you sent me that picture.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
No, I was just like, I wonder what he's asking me when he sends me this picture. Um, if enough people are in the room and I think about it, I'm gonna say, hey guys, we have to do this for my friend Keith Andrew. Let's do a quick pyramid. Um, I think I've not done a pyramid since I was 7 or 8 or 9, something like that. And the reason is because I chipped a tooth. I chipped my one of my bottom teeth on a coffee table because I fell off of the pyramid and had to go to the dentist and get a filling. So that was not fun. And obviously I got chewed out by my folks for that. So no pyramids around coffee tables, at least. Maybe on the beach in the sand where if it's an easy fall, a soft fall.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser, but we can definitely talk about that off the
That's
air.
not a loser. That's fun. I mean, there has to be a reason why you like human pyramids.
I
And
keep getting that axe a lot. I get it, and people are like, "Oh, it's a sexual thing." No, it's not a sexual thing. I just like it. There's certain things you just I like this. He's like, and then everyone's like, well, tell us why. Well, I don't know. I'm not a freaking psychologist because I find it interesting. There's a taxi driver, God rest his soul, but he used to do that. He used to drive me up the freaking wall. I wanted to jump out of the taxi while it's moving. I would tell him something, and then he would turn it around. Well, tell me why you like this. Oh, well, why is it like this? Why is it like that? What's this, a freaking interrogation? And there's just some things I like. I like human pyramids. It's not a big deal. Doesn't hurt anyone. But that he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy, but I did not like. My dad says I had diarrhea of the mouth. Oh, it was one after another, after another, after another. I'm like, dude, shut up and drive. But anyway, but
I
I'm gonna.
imagine your favorite position on the human pyramid to be is the top, right?
I would actually. I actually thought about getting like a group of people do the pyramid, but have a GoPro. Have one person on the bottom, and one in the middle was a GoPro, and the one on top was a GoPro. Yeah, I would
Okay.
like to try all three spots, but if you have a GoPro, you get to videotape it and mix it together from different angles, and you see it from their point of view.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, while we're on the subject, the reason I also bring it up here on the Keith Andrew Network, a lot of people think it's just about the talk show, and that is the main focus. I'm a talk show host with learning disabilities. But for the younger audiences, like my niece, who's 10 years old, how can I cater to people like her? And I'm like, okay, well, they may not be interested in acting or being a professional wrestler or listening to that. So why not do some voiceover? So I do the Dumbo challenge. That's where I will give you lines and you would repeat them. And then at the end, once I have like 8 people, I make a video where like you would say, gaining a little weight, are we, honey? And then it cuts to the next person. You're no cream puff yourself, dearie.
Got it.
So I do voiceovers for Dumbo and Jumblebuck. I'm like, okay. Now you keep mentioning you like pyramids. How can I benefit from that? Boom, there you go. Keith Andrew Network has the Human Pyramid Challenge. But what makes it more fun is each person would reenact lines from Jumbo and Jumblebook, so it's more cartoony.
Okay.
So my network is more like a variety show. And as I mentioned, I'm now interested in my job is I'm now an editor. So for an example, if you pay me $20 a month, I will create you your own show, your own introduction. I will promote it. I will share it. I will do anything. But when you pay me, I work for you. So I can create your own show, whatever it is. And I'm like, instead of going to read and working at Walmart and Target, and we can get to bed afterwards, and then say, oh, well, it didn't work out. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, creating videos. Why not offer my services, not in that way, obviously, offer my services and say, hey, I'm more than capable of creating you a video. Would you be interested in letting me making your own show? And yes, I talk with my hands, and you can be a part of my network. So, and then my network it started as a talk show. Then I added the human pyramid stuff, then the Dumbo and the Jumblebook because it's a variety show. And I'm like, okay, the key word, you can't see it because I'm in front of it. There you go,
Network.
network. And now, how can I network? Why not invite people to have their shows on my network and we can network together? And
That's
then
clever.
make a long story short. But I do want to pass the show over to you. We're going to do the special sit down when we come back from the commercial break. What was the last 5 minutes? I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? You can ask me anything. I have no cards on my sleeve.
Awesome. Yeah, let me give it a moment. Let me give it a moment of thought. Okay. So, how old were you when you realized you were different?
5 years old.
And what was that moment like for you?
Um, I knew I was a big pain in the ass. Um, I was obnoxious when I was younger. If I always played with the idea if I could do my life over, this life over, I would, but I want to know everything I know now. I would have gotten closer with my siblings. I wouldn't have antagonized certain people. I would change some things. I would have started my talk show sooner, even though if you look at it, my show did start in high school, but that was my fault. I should have had those tapes. It's nice to have VHS. Sorry, trying to talk without swallowing at the same time. It's always nice to have those VHS tapes, but those are obsolete now. So, yes, you can convert them, but it's just would have done things a lot faster, would have um done certain things, haven't done certain things. It's just the learning experience. But yes, I would love to do my life over, knowing everything I know now. Of course, you would still have to go through the same old routines, but at least you have a game plan instead of throwing shit against the wall and saying we're going to go for one day till another. You know what I mean? Let me ask you, would you do your life over knowing everything you know now?
It's funny. As I was listening to you, I was thinking, I think it's perfectly natural and normal to think about redoing your life and going back and redoing things. But we have to know that where we are now is so crucial to our journey. If we didn't have anything of what we had leading up to this moment, we wouldn't be where we are. And I just feel that no regrets, like we shouldn't have any regrets because we have to have contrast to know what we truly want out of life. So, you've been doing your show since high school. That's incredible. I mean, it sounds like me. I've been performing since high school. I always knew I wanted to be a performer. And I feel that when you are in touch with who you are, you really know what you want out of life. And I think that's more beautiful than trying to reach to be somewhere where you feel like you need to be. We're never going to be fully satisfied with where we are. It's the journey. The journey is what makes life beautiful. It's not any end point of the journey, because if we reach the end point, then we've probably reached the end of life.
That's true. Now I do have a couple questions for you off the air. This
Okay.
next segment will be only available on Instagram and TikTok. With that being said, wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I'm looking forward to part two. And stay tuned for the sit down with the Keith Andrew Network on Instagram and TikTok.
My show and supporting me, and my message is all that